Hey guys, Dan Heilman back with another video. We just had the highest daily close on Bitcoin in history and the highest weekly close on Bitcoin in history. So what's up with the big red candle and what's up with all the red on the altcoin market? We're going to go through all that today, what I think. I've done some research and let's talk about it. So it is history now that we have closed the highest daily candle in the history of time here. There you go. So the highest daily close was back here in January of 106,121 roughly. And you can see we just closed it ever so slightly higher. If you go look at the weekly as well. So if we go to the weekly candles, you can see again, the highest was right here at 104,500 basically, and we just closed at 106,500, so another 2,000 higher. Now we are getting another pullback. And what does this mean? Are we coming back down? Did we sweep the high and we're going to go down a lot? I don't think that's going to be the scenario. Of course, anything can happen, but if you look on the chart here, you can see we had this massive candle down. Now a couple pieces of news have happened, so let's talk about that. And so we had this Moody's downgrades the United States credit rating. I talked about this. Actually, Bitcoin rallied on this because Bitcoin, is kind of in direct opposition of the US dollar. It's finite, unlike the US dollar, which gets printed constantly and constantly devalued, right? The spending power of your dollar consistently goes down throughout time, no matter what. It almost never goes up, okay? So, the dollar is used to print themselves out of debt, etc. And yeah, I don't think anyone's surprised at this because the debt has been going up and up and up and up, and it just always goes up, right? So it never seems to go down. And what really happened was this came out and futures were not open yet. The S&P 500 futures, all that stuff was not open yet. So actually Bitcoin rallied on this news because again, it's directly opposing the US dollar in terms of a store of value. US dollar, not a very good store of value. And then something interesting happened. We got this big, beautiful bill that got passed kind of late last night. Not passed, it passed a partial pass, right? So it was approved by some, and it was basically pushed through last night, like 10 p.m. or so. And if we go look at the chart, 10 p.m. If we go look at the 1 hourly chart, 10 p.m. Here's 8, or it was 8. I don't know, 8 o'clock. Depends on what time zone you're in, I guess. We saw this, and boom, a big sell-off, which could correspond to that. Now, this and another thing is, after downgrading the US's basically credit rating, this came through, which cuts taxes. Again, it makes the 2017 tax cuts permanent, which means they're going to get less revenue, although we do now kind of have tariffs to offset that. And then basically more spending. So more spending for the next 3 to 4 years. So it's like, basically, are we going to put ourselves more in debt? I don't know. We'll see. There is also the Doge, which is trying to reduce spending. So we'll kind of see, but you can see right here, connection to Fed stimulus and 10-year bonds. This bill's tax cut increases the deficit spending, could influence the economy, and basically boosting the 10-year rates. Okay, so if you go look at the 10-year rates, if I go over here to the US 10, you can see, boom, a big pump on the daily when this came out, and it's continuing to go up. This is bad for risk assets in the short term. Okay, so when these go up, basically people are forced to sell some of their bonds because their value went down. When the rate goes up, price goes down. Okay, I'm no economist, so I just kind of asked Grok to explain it to me like I'm a 4-year-old. I said, in simple terms, how does the 10-year bond yield affect money stimulus from the Fed? Okay, so here's what we got right now: high yield and stimulus. If the 10-year yield rises because of inflation fears or strong economic growth, borrowing gets more expensive, right? Because when the yields go up, the rate is higher and rates go up higher. Okay, this can counteract the Fed stimulus as high rates discourage borrowing and lending. And again, as I said, you're forced to sell to cover your debt, right? The Fed might need to do more stimulus, like buying more bonds. So when they buy a bunch of bonds, it keeps the yields down to support the economy, okay? If they're low yields, when the Fed pumps money into the economy by cutting rates or buying bonds, again, we're still waiting for the Fed to cut rates. And I think that's kind of what the altcoin market is waiting for. They're kind of waiting for some stimulus. They're waiting for the rates to go down, and that just allows more risk on environment, right? So it increases demand for bonds, which pushes the bond prices up and the yields down. So those are inverse, okay? Low 10-year yields mean borrowing is cheaper for everyone, amplifying the Fed's stimulus effect, okay? Market expectations. The 10-year yield also reflects what investors think about the future. If they expect the Fed to keep stimulating, keeping rates low, yields might stay low. They're not. But if they think the Fed will pull back stimulus or raise rates, yields can rise. So that would be a bad scenario in the short term. But that would, if those yields continue to go up right here, you can see it looks like we're kind of going to break this support right about here. It looks like we have even an inverse head and shoulders on the rates. So if this comes up, this might force the Fed to start stimulating, to cut rates. This might be right in time for June. We have a rate cut potentially happening in June. Let's go see if that changed now. Let's go see if that changed. So if we go to the CME Fed Watch and look at the rates, let's see how they have changed. So if we go here, what's happening? It's not loading. Let's refresh. There we go. It looks pretty much untouched. So I think this is what it was last time. Now it is below that 95% threshold. So maybe we don't get a rate here in June, which is about a month from today, but it does look like we are still looking at one in July. Now it could be all the way to September. I think this basically says by September, we're definitely going to get one, right? Because I mean, it's like basically over a less than a 30% chance that we keep them the same by September. Here, it's basically about a 66% chance, which is almost a coin flip that we keep them the same. And then we have this chance here, even a percentage, even a full whatever that is. This is 4.25 to 4.5. There's even a 2.3% chance we get on to 3.75 to 4%. I'd be real happy with that as a person with a high interest rate mortgage right now that I just locked in. So I would love to get that a chance to refi. But that's kind of what we're going on with rates. And I think that's kind of what's affecting the cryptocurrency prices, especially altcoins, right? So altcoins, it's kind of funny because if you go look at like the 4-hour, we had this big pump and then a dump and then a big pump and then a dump. But then if you go look at these, you can see a pump and then a bigger dump, a pump and then a bigger dump for a lot of these coins. So it's kind of interesting that, Bitcoin basically was break even at this point, but then alts were down on the day or on these candles here. So alts continue to get hammered again, and Bitcoin dominance is now continuing to rise. However, it is getting rejected quite a lot at this upper end of this range here, which is very interesting, right? So I have this channel going back all the way to back in here of 2021, basically. I mean, it really starts about 2023 here, but we've been in this channel forever, just increasing. And we're kind of rejecting here at this. Now, this did happen here, and then we ended up going out of it anyways, but we've been rejected many times here at the top of this range. So we could see this continue to come down. It doesn't have to. It could also just come up here, tap this 66% up at the top of this range, which also could happen because the fib channel is at 66.25. People are moving a lot of Bitcoin around. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens here. But, I was talking about being very bullish. I actually recorded that video 2 days ago, and that did kind of play out, right? That did kind of play out. If you go look at some heat maps as well, you can see a lot of this leverage up top was taken out, right? And there is still some up here. So we could still see a push to 108. We could see a push all the way up to new all-time highs very easily, right? So we are very close to new all-time highs. You can see we could easily, let me silence my phone because I'm getting spammed by people moving Bitcoin on big addresses. You can see we could easily come up here and sweep this all-time high, no problem. We could even push all the way up to something like 115K, 120K, and then come down. We could also very easily, if I put on my trading indicators, we could very easily also just come down into this range, 92. We could also just come down to about 99-ish, okay? So if I go to here, and if we pull basically from the top of this channel down to the bottom of this, you can see we're already at a key fib level, but we could easily come down to this 96. We could also just come down to this 100K, 98, 99-ish K. You can see we have a lot of, we got a lot of points here. We have some moving averages. We have some fib channels. So it's really, I think by the end of the year, near the end of the year, we're going to be making some very big new all-time highs. Also, my Camel Finance indicator is saying we should be bottoming sometime. If this pushes up, it's probably going to pick this as a daily low, or even this one here, and say, yep, that's confirmed. We could move all the way up easily to the 115, 120, 130K before coming back down. And we could also just come right down here short term and then blast off from here. So obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I really wish I did. We could come up here, sweep, come down, blast off. We could come right from here. We could come down here to, I don't know, 98 and blast off. We could come all the way down to as much as even this 92 range and then blast off. Why does it keep doing that? But yeah, it was very interesting. If you go look at this, also the liquidation history. No, that's not what I want. I want the heat map, liquidation map. Here we go. So on the 1 day, you can see we have this all the way up to 1075. Okay, so I don't know if Binance has a different price. Does Bitcoin Binance have a different price here? If I go to crypto, let's go BTC, USD, Binance. Does it have a different price? We swept the 107 on the dot, basically 107 on the dot. Is this historical data? 107 on the dot. It got swept. Yeah. Okay. So this looks like this is already gone, but it's still showing it here. So you can see it says the price is 102. 102. If I hit this, yeah, see the price is nowhere. Oh yeah, I guess the price is actually 102, isn't it now? Geez, it went up there, went back down. So maybe people are just opening up more shorts again and got cleared here. And now it's just back in there because people are continuing to open shorts here is maybe what's happening. So we could just go right back up to 107.5 here. This is just Binance though. If you look at all the exchanges, it's quite interesting because it seems like in the 1 day, there's $4.3 billion in shorts and only $2 billion. So there's more than double the amount of shorts than longs right now. So I don't know, maybe we continue to just short squeeze up through the top of this range. And unfortunately, sometimes in the summer, we have a little bit of a lull. That doesn't always play out, but a lot of times in the summer, we go back to the summer here, May, June. I mean, look at all this, right? So this is the summer, just down, 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 September blast. So, oops, we could also see something like that. It's a bit of a hit or miss here. I still think we for sure are putting in new all-time highs this year. And I think we still are even coming up to, we could potentially test the 200K, 150K. Again, I still haven't changed my base case for this, which is really testing up here in the 200s by about October-ish, September, October-ish. And then correcting back down. So that's gonna be pretty much it for the video. We're kind of just waiting, especially for altcoins. If you're heavily in altcoins, you've probably been feeling some pain. I do have a big chunk of altcoins. I do have a big chunk of Bitcoin in my portfolio. I have about 50% Bitcoin in my portfolio. So I'm happy to have that 50% Bitcoin for sure with all of this altcoin action, which has been very brutal. I mean, if you go look at things like Solana, here's the daily. I mean, Solana literally from the all-time high had a 67% pullback, which is freaking brutal. We did just actually reject off this moving average here. So the yellow one is coming back up. We do have some lines here that we are potentially testing right now. So as we're just barely breaking below this. Does that mean we're going to break down? Doesn't have to. We do kind of have a bit of a increasing wedge here, which is usually bearish, but when it says bearish, that only means it needs to break down a little. It doesn't need to come retest the lows or anything like that. It could though. There's some people that believe that this chart right here, total 3 minus USDT, could break down to this 0.25, 0.26. That would be about a 19-ish % drop for altcoins. That would be quite brutal, but as you can see, when we usually hit this, that might be the start of alt season. So if the risk appetite continues to go down and things bleed through the summer or even into June, July, we could see the stimulus from the Fed start printing, and that would initiate our altcoin season. That would mean that Bitcoin dominance goes up a little higher, and that is totally possible, especially as we're sitting here trying to retest this top here. But I mean, could reject, come back down. It does actually, the Camel Finance indicator is saying we're looking for a cycle low in June, which is interesting because when you look at it in terms of Bitcoin dominance, it's saying that we should see a low around here. That's quite interesting. Again, that's it. It's going to be it for the video. If you do want to open any trades, I do have longs still open on Bitunix. I have links below, so feel free to use any of those links if you want to try leverage trading. Just be careful out there, and that's it for the video. Have a great day, everyone. See you guys.